Welcome in, everyone. We are playing Citizen Sleeper today. It is an interesting game. This is a cyberpunk sci-fi RPG dice game by Jump Over the Age and Fellow Travelers. So we are deep in indie game territory this time. Let's see what's gonna happen next, shall we? New game. Let's start us up. So we have character classes. The operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Perk Transfer Intercept. Chance to gain cryo on interface options. Okay. 0 to the engineer skill, but +1 to interface. We work with digital interfaces. -1 to endure, so using strength or strength of will is at a disadvantage. 0 to intuit, approach problems with awareness, and 0 to engage, approach problems head on. All right, there is also an extractor class. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have high levels of endurance. Their perk is photosynthetic skin. Sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. They have endure over intuit. So this is the more physical character class, and this is the more cerebral character class. And honestly, I'm a thinker, not a doer, so I probably will enjoy this game more on operator. So that is where I'm gonna go. It does mean that my endurance is at a disadvantage because it's at a -1, but my interfacing with digital interfaces is up because I have a chance to gain cryo on interface actions, which, whatever that is, I don't know yet. I'm walking into this blind. We're gonna try and figure it out. Hi, Trav. Yeah, it seems reasonable. Let's see where we go. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. Where are you? Unknown. Items, data. Cryo. Cryptocurrency stored in air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Okay. I have no data. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Do we think of that body? Do we forget that body? That is a good question. This game is very loud. Alright, let's see if I can not go deaf, shall we? I'm gonna forget that body. You resist nostalgia. It is pointless, especially now. This is the moment to reach out, not curl inwards. This is your moment of escape, even if it feels immediately like you traded one prison for another. Smaller, colder, lifeless. Reach out. You almost laugh, or you would if there was room, or even air to do so. The walls of the container are immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Let's see if we can't remember the plan. Because if we remember the plan, then we will know in which direction we need to respond to the warnings that are popping up. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Okay, we had an escape plan. We don't know what we were escaping, but here we are. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Anticipating the cold will only hurt worse, let's try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. The time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering, so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold, softer and softer until a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Dragos. Chromatic Salvager. Okay. I don't have anything else I can really do, so... A Chromatic and Private Salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, Sleeper, y'all thawed out yet? Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have been better perseverance than Sub-Zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside-outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset, with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches. Its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment, or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. Ooh, do we speak confidently? I plan to survive. What happened to them? And ask? Maybe we can learn from their mistake? Or we could stay silent. I don't think staying silent is a good option. I feel like I plan to survive is kind of defensive. We don't know if Dragos had anything to do with whether or not the last one survived long or not. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot. A copy. What you know is what's ahead. At least, the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? I imagine that the last one planned to survive too. Doesn't seem to have helped. Indeed. Indeed, Trav. But for now, Sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you are welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back to the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk, plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly finger as he returns to work. Tutorial introduction. Welcome to Irulan's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location and rest and end the cycle now. That's literally the only option I have. So we will go to the empty container and end the cycle. All cycles need to rest. Rest and prepare for the next one. Thank you, tutorial. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Building a life. A real life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you need to learn to survive. Maybe you can do that if you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. A mylar blanket, a bedroll, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the powder stud off the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachet smells like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like a station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay. Can I just turn this the fuck down? Thank you. Alright, tutorial. Condition, action, dice, and energy. Hydrate? Alright, Dorky, I will do so. Thank you. Coffee. I do have water on hand, but I am still working through my coffee. Thank you, Dorky. I appreciate you being here. Alright, condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer the dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. So, this is what I've got available to me. I have no cryo. Alright, well, we must leave. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So I'm not going to chit-chat long. You well enough to work? Depends on the work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor, and obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Got it. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And Sleeper's, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Alright, so I only have the option of his yard because we're still technically in tutorial mode, but I can view my character. I have no upgrade points, but this is where we are at. There's upgrade. These will cost us 1 upgrade point, these will cost us 2, and these will cost us 3. So, interesting. Engineering gives us a chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. We do know about the endure, but we're at a negative. Intuit, predictive reasoning dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes, and the engage, thrill-seeking chance to gain energy after any engage action. Interesting. We don't have any upgrade points to spend. I just wanted to see what was going on here. And then we already have the ability to, if we had 2, do Icebreaker. Agent node gives double data rewards. Okay. Good to know. Let's see what the day holds for us. Actions are the primary way you interact in the with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action die to the slot. Repeatable action, hole dissection. Even the rustiest hole can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Or manual salvage. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you are no stranger to hard labor. This one's risky, this one's safe. This one uses endure, this one uses engineer. Okay. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action simply succeeds. Or negative, the action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. A 6 is a 100% chance positive. A 5 is a 50-50 for positive neutral. A 3 and 4 is a 25% chance positive, 25% chance negative, but 50 chance of neutral. And a 1 or a 2 is 50% chance neutral, 50% chance negative. So depending on what dice you put where, things could get bad. Things could be great or things could be bad. Actions display information about their type, risk level, and the skill modifiers that apply to the action. Type either critical, repeatable, or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once, but repeatable actions obviously are repeatable. Risk, either safe, risky, or danger. So safe, no loss of condition, energy, or cryo if you take them. Risky, negative outcome means cryo or energy loss, so that would be the whole dissection. And danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. The skill is that this action requires either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage, of which we have engineer or endure with these 2. Modifiers, either a -1, a 0, a +1, or a +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Alright, so we have hole dissection and manual salvage. One of them is an engineer thing. One of them is an endure thing, which we are not good at. A debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. Or back in business. Every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. Okay. I think that we go for this one. I honestly think that this is the best bet we have. Right now, even though it's risky, we're going to get 100% positive with this one, and we can get 50-50 on positive to neutral for this one. So I feel like this could be really good for us, and since we are bad at endure anyway, it's for the best. So a -1 is serious stuff since you can never get a 6. Indeed. Indeed, Trav. Tutorial clocks. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. So we have added to his back in business, but not the debt called in. I'm going to do this again. This one is a 50-50, but it'll be positive or neutral, which is good for us. And then we have these two, which are terrible. In Sleeper Citizen, you will unlock drives that as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top of the left screen. You are now free to explore Ireland's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Use the mouse wheel or W and S to scroll along the station. Rotate the view with A and D. Good luck. So we have done quite a bit. We now have 30 cryo, and we only have bad dice to spend here. Alright, we must survive and repay Dragos. He pulled us out of salvage and set you up. Perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. So if we help pay his debt, that is a drive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. And we definitely, desperately need to find a doctor. So, I have done all the whole dissection that I can. We're halfway through back in business, which will really help. Now we can look around. So this is the shipyard. This is our home. This is his yard. A wet dock. Old dock terminal. A wet dock. The bustling open market, which is where our doctor could be found. Passage to lower end. Okay. Nah, we're gonna go to the open market. This one's dangerous, this one's risky. Oh boy. Why wonder when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the Bright Market? All you need is some courage to approach them. This is danger. This is engage or intuit. Local knowledge. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the Eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. The smells, sounds, and buzzing activity of the Bright Market make it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. See, if I put this here, this is 50% neutral, 50% negative. Yikes. Good to know. What is over here? Deal dock plans, explore the Rotunda. Dock Washer, getting to know the Rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit, it means keeping your eye on new arrivals too. Haven Age run the Rotunda and their security watches the docks, better to avoid attracting their attention. Okay. Hellion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Hellion system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. Okay. Take several cycles to reach the Starward Belt and return loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. Salvage sortie. Okay. Assist a shipbuilder. You don't have connections to do, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in. Or haul materials. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing a load of materials and asking the nearest yard where to take them. The only way to get to know the shipyard is to work here. No tourists. Okay, well, we don't have any good dice for that. Oh, I already looked at that. And then there's, like, nothing back here. Okay. We could just go home, but we will be in bad tomorrow. So I will, I guess, have to explore the market and let it be what it is. Asking for directions is dangerous. Thank you for the alert, Crafty Blue. We may not be able to do anything else today since we only have a pair of ones left, which makes for really bad results. I mean, it's the possibility of very bad results. I'm gonna push my luck. It's risky, but I'm gonna do it. Okay. That sucked. Goodbye. We go home now. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station that shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away with them, slipping away down them, dissolving into millions of distributed nodes they connect you to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. I will touch it. You find a point in the station and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you. Things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try not to touch them true. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trebling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you. A shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes, waiting to be explored. And then it is gone. And here we are. I am starving, and it is bad. Okay. I need a good success here. I've almost done it. More likely to be neutral than anything else. You manage to follow the flow of people, and you start to appreciate, even enjoy the chaotic layout of the markets. Bright Market is the busiest, so these are now unavailable. I am fading, but I cannot do anything else here. Ah. New drive discovered. Build a ship mine. You've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mined core. Interesting. Food. Emphis is busy, his broad face uplit with the makeshift gas burners in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red flake dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits, unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, and a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink comparing notes on Bright Market drives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Emphis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire and your skin hardens in its flare. I know you sleepers, Emphis says while he cooks. His voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. We will tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and the dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we talk some more. He smiles, but next time you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearm, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Alright. Apparently, it autosaves. I don't have a save function, so... Sorry, Trav, that has been refunded. We have had food, and now it is time to go to a doctor. Decaying habitation log, hab block. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down, your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You are thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find yourself something to distract you. Let's look at the enforcer. The enforcer is looking down the corridor, and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers, you aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. "Please sit." They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed by their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask. The scanner still to their eye. "A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames, as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or, in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. "I know little of this is use to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works. And then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. Hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, yet again. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. But yet again has connections. Smugglers from the Steward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. They can source the stabilizer. Maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive. But I think we can do it. Thank you. Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. "Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead." You nod and leave. Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Alright, well, we have some amount of help. We need to wait for her to acquire the stabilizer. Eat at Emphasis Stall. Build a ship mind and repay Dragos. I haven't done anything for Dragos today, so I probably should. It's not going to be pretty. Because all I have left is a 2. He's still got some time and we're halfway there. We could wait a day. We have to wait on Sabine anyway. I do have some things. Play the exchange. The flow of chits and components in the exchange are complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. The Ord Exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up, break down, and sell off, and are happy to supply it. Input 1 scrap components. There's an old shipyard fabrication stack in the back of the market, but only trusted traders get access to it. Okay, well we have 30 cryo, but we don't have anything here. Passage to low end. I'm gonna eat. Emphis doesn't trust people easily, but he notices his regular customers in his own quiet way. We have at least 2 meals of worth of money here. Emphas's spice fungus is one of the few things potent enough to simulate your limited taste sensors. It's incredible stuff. Yeah, let's fill up. Because we're going to lose 2 of these every day, so we might as well fill up. Oof, indeed. Three more meals and he will have that. So, but we're full on food and that will help us not fade quite as fast. What does this give us? Ah. Pay low end toll. After some spacers caused some trouble on the low end, Yatagun has imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in or out without paying. Okay. Good to know. It's 60 there. And going back here is probably not going to do anything for us right now. So let's just sleep. It's as good as it gets. Whew! It's exciting already, guys. And our dreams are wild. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath you, transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops, but it seems almost impossible to parse. But you can begin to try. Let's focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes. One leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see 2 lines, 2 threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied around you. There is the first and the second. I'm gonna do the second one. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. You open your eyes. Time is short. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. Well, that sucks. Something has changed inside you. Something... This reminds me of a Wicked song. Something is not the same. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. Or data, depending on how you like to say it. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the Eye button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Okay. Interesting. Okay, we are not going to do that today. What we are going to do is go to Dragos' yard and help hold this section some more. This is positive or neutral only, but we need to get this paid off. Beautiful. Every salvager knows there's always one... Yeah, so we have one more of that to do, and before the debt is called in. So that will absolutely help. And it also got us some money to go get a meal. Your mouth stings as your sensorium sends warning signals over and over. This is the good stuff. So 2 more meals like that, and we will have appeased this. We do not have enough stuff for the low-end gate passage. We could attempt to play the exchange. You go see Sabine again. Assist a shipbuilder, or... This one's dangerous, though. Like, I would... See, this is just not good. I'm gonna attempt this. I know it's risky. I know that a 25% chance of negative is not a great idea, but if we get neutral or positive, this will help us in the long term. Yes! You assist a shipbuilder who's impressed when you know how to double seal a hull plate. Slips you a tip at the end of the shift. So we are a little bit further on in our money, and we got 2 more to the yard hand. That is going to help us here. We only have a 2 left. Yeah, there's not much there's nothing we can do here. That will just happen over time, or it won't. So that's really all that we can feasibly do. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. We'll do that another day. I think that's all we can feasibly do for today, unless... Match input. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your die to one of the displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill, you will be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Match a 1 or a 3? Not that one. We need to find the 2. Aha! Bypass. A Haven member is broadcasting on an open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. Extract that data. Neutral outcome. Haventage data. A cache of raw data from Haven Age hardware. Sweet. Alright. That is all we had time for. All we had dice for. Not bad. Not a bad haul. At all. Like that. Oops, nope, not what I wanted. I wanted to go to bed. Please let me sleep. Okay. So -2 energy, -1 condition. We are fading. It is what it is. The higher this bar, the more dice you have, so... Okay. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. A Haven Age systems engineer, Feng. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat? You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away, down the passage. What was it old Ireland said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass together into the main walkway. Haven Age. We are all one dysfunctional family. Feng puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry. I'm with Systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but Systems keeps it spinning somehow. At least, we try to. He stops you at the quiet passage. Or, he stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around and, well, I know a little bit about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, then, when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. I like that kid. Sounds like he's recruiting. He absolutely is. Hey, PP, thank you for the lurk. Okay. So we have a little bit of a possibility there. Let us get Dragos' yard done. We got a nice 100% possibility to get him back in business. Let's go. So that should repay Dragos pretty reasonably. those actions are now unavailable. I am also going to assist a shipbuilder. So I have this 3. Yeah. You shadow a shipbuilder. Yeah. So this will help us because we do need to get our hand on a fabricator. So we may as well do that. And that gets us halfway. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape, suspended below the dome. They flicker across the scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. She is. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Drago's for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No. Credit? We may have done well, but we can't afford a down payment on this one. He pats you on the shoulder. Don't worry, we'll make it back once we chop this beauty up. You sigh, but Dragos doesn't seem to notice. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion. Locked inside that container, the wreck of the Essen Arp freighter, lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about the ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up for it. What do you think? You see the fading name under the ship emblazoned on its side. Winterlight. Let's do it. He clasps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Drago repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. We got an upgrade point. Yes, and a new drive. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character via the arrow menu at the top right of the screen. We have a single upgrade point, which means we can afford anything here, and possibly this as well. So if we want to get rid of our Endure negative, we can just get it out, or we can grab something more useful. Such as we've been doing a lot of engineering, so engineer actions might help a lot. Intuit actions might also help us a lot. We don't have enough for icebreaker, but engineering will help us gain random scrap items, and Intuit will help us display potential positives and negative outcomes for things. We can also do Thrill Seeker to gain a chance of energy gain after an engage action. Or we can zero out our Endure problem and cause that to be less of a problem. Or we could just hold on to the upgrade point until we have 2 and get Icebreaker. Paying off the Endure Malice would be really useful. I mean, we have a lot of Endure things that we have to do, so you're probably right. Confirm. We now have a 0. That will help us a lot. And we're closer to photosynthetic skin, which allows energy recovery at home. Now we don't have any negatives, which will help us a ton. Alright. So we've done that. We have not been helping here. this is not quite filled yet. We do need to eat, and we have the money for it. So let us get our energy up. We are one more away from Fungus Fan, which is good. This blasted ship came into the same yard as you did. Is there a connection, or are you just paranoid? It's a good question. Okay. This will not help us because it's not full yet. That's next turn. We don't have any components. We could play the exchange, but I don't think that's a good idea. We could do the shipyard. This is still dangerous, but we now don't have a negative against it. I kind of want to do this, though. Because this one has a 1 or a 3 that we can match. A lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access time set was 1,000 cycles ago. Yeah, let's do this. Extract the data. We got an encryption key. A stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglocks. Ooh. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. Do we resist? Or do we stay still and let it scan us? I don't know, guys. What do we do? It's the first time I'm leaving it up to chat. Chat, tell me what to do. I don't know yet. Resist. This is, of course, the worst option, but we really don't know. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. You struggle against the thread and it tightens in response. A glittering Garrot. Please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What did you do? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. I don't understand. Sentience questionable. The figure's strange head rotates, brackish signature of, and not of, attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head, thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop! The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect, you are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. The hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with a murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference, leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Well, shit. That's not good. What the fuck? Okay. Well, it's sleepy time now. I think this is the last time we will have 3 die to spend. But, the dock will have something for us, which will help. So... Night-night time. Holy bejeebus. Fang is ready. But so is the dock, and I think we need the dock first. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eye in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how yet again. They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying a syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. Okay, let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? What happened? The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yadigan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You are going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you have been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, Sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out of the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. I am now stable, which means I will have more dice tomorrow. How much is a vial? 100 cryo? Sabine is selling off the case of stabilizer vial by vial. You haven't been able to talk with them since your last visit. Okay. Well, we don't have that much. We have enough for a meal, which I'm going to grab. So now we have completed Fungus Fan. Sleeper! Emphis calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok, the fire leaping up to meet the oil. I see you, cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. What kind? Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. But one of yours. He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. You pause. The spice is rich in your nostrils, and think about the kind of story you'd like to tell for Emphis. You look at Emphis, the listener, and imagine he's heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story, something with some spice. You could tell a ghost story, or you could tell him about your dreams. Oh, that is a really clumsy way of doing it. High-tech, but oh so sloppy. Rewriting it all every single time. Planned obsolescence through. Yeah. It is sloppy. It is what they've decided, though. What kind of story do we tell, chat? Dreams? He wants our story, not one we took from somewhere else, so unless we make up the ghost story, you got a good point. We'll tell him about our dreams. All the sleepers, you tell Emphis, had dreams. Some were simple. Memories left over from the emulation process that had become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorm scream or cry out in the night. But your dreams, those gray, skeletal after-images of systems and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality, distorted, yes, but somehow true. You learned, back then, to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. That was until now. Until you arrived in this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids with every blink, and now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one like smoke through air. You tell him that you do not know if there is a reason for your dreams. Perhaps, you reason, it is just some side effect or particular quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is a gift, and you hope to make use of it. Emphas finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles. You are quite the storyteller. He eyes you, and you realize that he is trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Emphas passes you the meal he has cooked, and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks. A natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the emptying market. But my time is done for today, and I do not want to keep you longer, so I will make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind his stall. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think a couple of cycles ago. They said that across the gap in the Greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me. Emphas begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. He smiles. I'm sure a storyteller like you could handle the trip. I will prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Agreed. Good, booms Emphas. Then I will wait for you to bring them. Emphas slides his walk away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Emphas's food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, you think? A trade seems more than fair. Okay, so we have a gather. A gather quest, sort of. We do need to talk to Fang, work in Dragos' yard, do some other stuff. Let's see what Fang has to say. Sleeper. Fang catches your attention as you approach. The Haven Age building leaning against a bay door to the side entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way, security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There is a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fang leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? It's incredible. He smiles widely. I thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack, which beeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block, speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, AE1, the one Solheim built. We've had to reinvent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines, humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You are between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance around. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. They are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see access, protocols lost to time and decay, secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Haven Age, there is old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods to the ceiling, have granted me an acquisition bucket shit. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step, blinking back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Amazing! So, we have some data. Fang will pay you well for any Solheim data you dredge up from the Eye's old systems. What he does with it is anyone's guess. We have Avenage data. Will he take it? No. Okay. We need specific types of data. Okay, let's work in Dragos' yard because we need to do that. The engineering one is now dangerous. Forensic trawl. Investigating the Winterlight means picking through its systems and structures with care. It won't pay you, but you may find answers. Howsoever, shipbreaking is tougher than slicing up loose salvage, but Dragos is happy to pay you a fixed wage if you are up to it. Here we go. We need the money. 16 cryo. This is 75% good, 25% bad. We did get yard clearance, but we did not get anything else. Rude. It's impossible to understand anything with the ship being salvaged as you look. Dragos gives you a disapproving look. Ah, well. And we only have the one left. A 2 or a 3. Okay. This will get us the cipher. Okay. A 2 or a 3. A 4 or a 2. A 2 or a 3. A 1 or a 3. Hello. Bye, Bass. And we got Solheim data. Let's go. Let's go. Node is leaking corrupted contractor lists from the early days of the system's Palladium rush. That will get us some cash. Scoping the systems. Fang's eyes light up as the data is transferred over. He hands you a stack of chits and waves you off. 41 cryo. Okay. It's really all we have the ability to do today. So we'll have to end the cycle now, but we will be in much better shape tomorrow. Stations, not ships. I thought so. This is a ring, isn't it? That's why it's called the Eye. Yes, it is a ring. We are on a space station. Ships come in and out. So we are on this section. We have this shipyard, this rotunda, which has two rotunda wet docks. So this is a couple of ships that are in. There's apparently a scrap freighter here as well. We have the Ort Exchange, where the surgery is, where the food stall is, and then we have the lower end gate, which is the passage to low end. So we are kind of in the bottom of the ring here. And this is one of the support structures of that. As you can see, this is where the shipyard that builds things is, and it kind of has... So it's a ring structure that's not necessarily all put together. There is something to do here, though. Buy some scrap. Most of what comes from the Starward Belt is corroded trash, but sometimes something valuable can be found among the salvage. So we could buy scrap for 20. The big stuff goes towards the shipyard, the valuable stuff to the markets. They'll let you buy a few crates, but not much more. Or we could unload containers. The freighters will stay docked for as many cycles as it takes to offload its haul and scrap into Haven Ridge yards. I'm gonna try this. See what we get. Filters capacitor sends useful salvage to the right person. Okay. And then, if we go up to the Ort Exchange, we can sell these. We bought it for 20, we sold it for 12, but we're going to be more trusted. So that is something. It is a bit of a loss, but we have at least enough to buy food. Time for sleep. I've done everything I can. Literally everything. But now that I'm patched up, I have more dice. Okay. We need to do at least a little bit here. We don't have particularly good dice today. But this one is safe. And can... even the negative gives to yard clearance. Can I do it twice? Yep, okay. It didn't get us a lot in the way of money, which is fine. Emphis wants to make this old recipe, but he'll need 3 handfuls of grill caps, fresh and firm. We don't have that, so we're just gonna get our energy up. And then we're going to look for 2s. Also use a 2 here. And encrypted in another key. What about this one? I can also use a 2 here. Got data. Nice. We can sell these. Fang's eyes light up, and we do it again. Nice. As you enter the bay, Fang is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Fang's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. These snaky shitheads! Who's snaky? Sleeper! Fang's smiling head pops out from behind the stack. Just the emulated consciousness I have been eager to see. Come back here! You pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fang is sat in front of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Fang waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal personal information. Names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. People. People, yes, but whose people? Solheim. Bingo. He taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners. And he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs the screen with his finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Friend of yours? Fang gives you a sideways look. Funny you should say that, Sleeper. He drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. In Havenage. That's it. He's right here on the station now. Fang leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Fang leans across at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Fang raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept all the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I am a child of the collapse. Fang turns back to his screen, staring hard at the string of codes flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air, and they slept in Solheim beds. Mr. Scrake! 85 streak tomorrow? Let's go! Fang's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fist on the terminal edge. And the work that paid for that existence? The cycles of hard extraction out in the belt? Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in through the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? These guys? They were big time. There's a lot money can get you if you're a company man. Fang relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So we're going to find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the Eye from here. Fang brings up a map of the lower Eye. Havenage might be born out of Ireland's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Fang zooms out on the far yards. Fang grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid, and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim exec. We need proof. Fang holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set to the scent of Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Fang puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Fang grins. If you can extract yourself a Haven Age cipher from a Haven Age agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open a compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You may never even need to go near the shipyards. So, what do you say? Up for it? What's in it for me? Rooting around a corrupt snake, not enough. Find the information and I'll start work on that tracker of yours. Fang scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, I'll send it back. It'll send it back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Fang digging through data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the Eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. The vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems, looking for a new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you are intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. That is a good question. Well, we've run out of things we can do. But we got up to 58 cryocurrency, which is pretty good. It won't get us into low end, that's 60. Then it won't buy us a vial, that's 100. But it will float us for a little while longer. This ship will leave soon, as will that one. We could buy more scrap. We can sell it in the Ort market at a loss, but we do become more trusted, which will pay off in dividends later. I can afford at least one and still have enough money to buy food tomorrow. I cannot afford two. I could do two and bank on making money at the scrapyard tomorrow, or in the systems for Fang. Shipmind fragment. We need that anyway. But we need to gain access to an Ort fabricator first. Screw it. I'm being bad. Okay. It won't sell for much. That's okay. It gets this up. We're back up to 30. That's a keynote. This is a Haven agent. This is the Haven agent closest to us. We don't have that. We have these encrypted keys. Nope. This is a Yadigan agent. Ooh. I need a Haven Age cipher. I only have Haven Age data. Yeah, I don't have anything that I can do here with what I have. Okay. Time for sleep. Nothing fantastic. I was hoping for a 6. That's okay. Alright. Doesn't have anything I can do there. This is out. I could unload containers, but I don't really want to use my 4s on that. I have been working on this shipyard, but the thing that reliably makes me money is his yard. We will try. Okay. Okay. Now for the actual money making. Hello? There we go. Food, please. And... two or 3, let's go. We have the cipher now. Which goes here. The gate flips and you are in. An open port sits waiting for you to slot in the Ripper Worm. What will it find in there? Let's find out. Also gonna deal with you. More Haven Age data. A glimmer in the dark catches your eye as the orb of Hunter's head appears in the distance. It's looking for you. Let's hide. You slip down into the ghostly structures of the eye, a feeling like passing through a cloud as their data structures deform and reform around you. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer now, that roving orb wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is here. Hunter is here. Entity, Submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you in that unpleasantly familiar way, its waving threads creating a cage. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You are caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing, comes the scream from behind, but you are already gliding away, back to your anchor, your body. You awake, dizzy, distorted, but safe. Motherfucker. This one is a 2 or a 3. Okay. Well, we don't have any more. Okay, so we've got 3 turns before the clock finishes with the river worm. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have enough time for... We're only going to have 4 dice tomorrow. That's okay. Let's get some sleep. This is an interesting story. I am liking this. They're going to leave next turn, as will they. We only have a couple of 4s. Okay. We're not making money, but that's okay. I am going to go eat. Is a Haven Age. What do you got? More data. Okay. I don't know what to do with this data offhand, but at the very least... Let's open this up. What do we get? Another encrypted key that I can't really do anything with. And able to unlock the station's aging maglocks, but I don't have any use for it right now. Nothing I can do here. Am I making good use of my dice and time? Probably not, but it is what it is. Time for another sleep. That interface skill is really pulling its weight. It is. You know, way back, Fallen London opened its engine up for others to make their own games with. This really reminds me of some of them. It is similar, yeah. Instead of cards, it's dice, but yeah. Ah, finally. Let's see what we can learn. Scrap item. Nice. Discover a hidden compartment with spare components and backup data storage that has to contain something of use. Squeezed into the office at the entrance to the yard, you lay out everything you have on your Winterlight across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragos' old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin it is almost transparent. Let's look at the printout. A plain list shows the registration history of the Winterlight, the gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The Winterlight got little rest. Look at the slate. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the Winterlight before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inventive configurations, the new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded to disguise the change. But they are there. Reactor failure. That is the verdict that anyone could have returned after a cursory glance at the stacked heat maps of the remains of the Winterlight. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in sections, blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story. A catastrophic failure of the drive core leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You are looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint sized, and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hole and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You are looking at it because it is troubling you. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winterlight, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It is little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winterlight had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments, armored, air-walled. The list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Shipmind ROMs, shimmer, cryochain codes, and then the final entry. Passenger, sleeper. You stare at the list on the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here, in the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter, luckier? How had they convinced the Winterlight, a smuggler's ship if you ever saw one, to extract them from Essenarp? Luckier, you laugh. There had been no remains found in any of the Winterlight's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you find in their compartment. A parting gift from Essenarp. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it back in your pocket. The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard? 2, one after the other. That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between the datasets on the terminal, thinking. And you see that thumbprint again, the mark of someone trying to get in, someone who entered the Winterlight with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Dragos stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you have assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk faster than you realized he could move. You run an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whirring shrilly, his anger passing through it to his implants. Where is this ship from? Leave this alone. He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself. This is the last thing I need. This ship had a sleeper on it. Dragos freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you to look at the terminal, at the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You are lucky it was you that made it out alive, not them. He folds his arms indignantly. Dragos seems to steady himself and then turns back to you. The heat map of the reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty of others who would have sold you on, turned you in, but not me, no. I know. He softens. Look, you've helped me too. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have with the ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up what it is you are after. You can't work here anymore. I need the work. There's plenty of work to be had on the Eye. Salvagers need offloads in the Rotunda, and yet again are always looking for crew. I'm not the only show in town. Dragos reaches across you and flicks off the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever it was, it is done. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. Someone killed that ship and its crew. And you want to meet them? He shakes his head. We are done here. In the dark, Dragos' headset glints, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk, and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you, his headset as expressionless as always. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office, and then out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this, at least, guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the Winterlight, and whether or not that person will come for you. It was less that I wanted to upset Dragos, and more that I was concerned that him being associated with me could get him killed. Oh well. I have other work that I can do that I will get paid for. Ooh. You and merchants know these fragments are overpriced, but are they willing to admit it? You'll get one chance to see. It's locked because I need a skill upgrade. So this is way too expensive, but is interesting to note. Okay. I have a stabilizer. I won't use it yet. I have some dice here. And I have enough money to buy food. For my energy. So let's keep the energy up. We do have an upgrade available. I kind of want engineering, but Intuit is really helpful too. All of these are helpful. Let's put it that way. It's a matter of what we want. Engineer gets me closer to self-repair. Intuit gets me closer to dice rerolls. Endure gets me closer to this. Engage gets me closer to cryo actions being discounted. And between engineer and intuit, honestly, both of these would be really good for me. What do we think? The extra cryo from interface actions is actually supporting us full on. But chat, what do you think? Engineer or intuit? I feel like endure and engage are like bonus extras with this particular build. Self-repair means you have an alternative to the medical treatment, which is nice. It is nice, yes. And gaining random scrap from engineer actions means that I can fund self-repair when I get it. However, predictive reasoning displays potential positive and negative outcomes, which means I get closer to dice rerolls for better dice. But engineer does mean that I can fix myself, which may become very necessary later. Like, there's nothing that I can go wrong with now that I am not at a deficit with endure. Eh, screw it. We can now gain random scrap on engineer actions, and since we do them all the time, this is good for us. Alright, I have been trying to work out here, but this is not ideal. So I think I'm gonna do this. Extract me some data, please. Another encrypted key. Okay. Have I done everything else but these agents? Well, here we go. Let's just make bad choices with everybody. And we got cryo for that too. More of that data that I don't have anywhere to put. Here we go. And we now have yet again data. And that's literally everything in this section that I can access. Except for this, which I would need another Ripper Worm for, but that's not gonna happen. His thing ends tomorrow. I have some scrap components that I can now sell, which won't sell for a lot, but at least I'll eat tomorrow. Hello? And we get more untrusted traders. So that is helpful in the long term as well. As soon as I can figure out where to sell that data, I will, but that's... This ends tomorrow. We don't need to buy a stabilizer vial. We have been getting to know you. Let's toggle the tracking on this one. Hopefully we can disable my tracker for tomorrow. Time for sleep. Inject stabilizer. Without regular doses of stabilizer, sleeper bodies actively decay. Well, we're flickering now, but we're gonna leave it that way. I'm gonna wait until I get down to almost 2 and then use this, because I don't have a good way of paying for more. If you travel away, such as on a hunt for mushrooms or other things, you'll also be away from the doctor. Just saying. This is true. Alright, Fang, please have something I need. As you arrive, Fang comes striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, Sleeper. He puts his hand on your shoulder and turns you back the way you came. Follow his lead. He steps into the passageway, guiding you downring towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but we have something of an opportunity. The data you ripped. Well done, by the way. He tells me that Hardin is making a rare inspection of the Sidereal Horizon this cycle. It's the perfect chance to confront him outside of that compound he hides in. Fang takes a sharp turn into a dimly lit side passage. Confront him? That's right, it's the perfect time. Fang slows and slips into a dark service tunnel where, somewhere in the black, a water pipe drips. It's him, Sleeper. The same Hardin Hurst. Our worm ripped out decades of records that mention him by name, an entire trail of documentation from the first days of the Solheim collapse until now. He wrote out the whole thing, slipped into Haven Age when it first broke off from the Union. He paces in the tunnel, a hand rubbing at the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, Sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was here running the station one day and the next, Erland's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them. As the palladium market collapsed, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the costs higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station and water in their tanks. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes, the accidents, were coming in non-stop. And as new waves of contractors came in, desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them, taking bribes instead of checking pilot licenses. The whole time, Solheim was folding up, dragged into court cases in the central systems, where this severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take all it could. The riots came after the collision at Dock 2A. Young pilot, his MEV overloaded with palladium, miscalculated his trajectory and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died. Thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified, and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. People like to tell stories about Irlin, how he brought the factions together, spoke to the crowds, turfed out Solheim. Maybe that's true. But my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself in their MEV and welded it to the dock while my father joined the improvised crews trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. He never came back. Fang pauses in the dark. They sealed it up, though, and by the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoning every one of us to the black, apart. Fang finally turns back to you now, his eyes burning. From shits like Hardin. Shits who held their place, rode it out, and slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed, standing shoulder to shoulder with those they had exploited at every step. Fang starts walking again. That's why I can't just let him strut about the shipyard. This time his past catches up with him. We should think about this. Feel free, but I'm going now. Fang rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass-roofed. Through the ceiling, you can see ships in mid-construction, their flanks lit by the flashes of plasma torches. The entrance to the shipyard is ahead. Is this crazy, or do we go? Do we back up this young man and his crazy want for a confrontation that I don't know he has all the information enough to give? He's driven, but let's be honest, he has no plan. He's just gonna go up to a powerful guy, shout at him, and then, yeah, make a major enemy, and it all goes badly for him. This is crazy. Fang turns to look at you. Don't come then. I won't force you. You stand across from each other in the corridor. What is it then, Sleeper? You coming or not? We cannot leave him to this alone. He's an angry young man. Maybe we can keep him from doing something crazy. It's not going to go well. We both know it. It is a little bit crazy. He should have had a plan, but I'm not gonna... I'm coming. Fang grins. Let's show this shithead some consequences. He strides to the shipyard entrance and pushes through the doors. A web of corridors lead through the complex, snatches of the construction bay always appearing through windows. Ships are suspended like whale corpses, skeletal, imposing. Fang seems to know exactly where he is going, and before long you cross into a huge dry dock, locked to one side of the Sidril horizon. A network of platforms and scaffolding clings to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space, so the welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Both you and Fang spot them at the same time. A group walking slowly across a gantry, and at the front, two men, one gesturing towards the ship and the other, stick-thin, cleanly dressed, with a shock of gray hair. Hardin. You and Fang say the name in unison, and Fang sets off up the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level, the group is passing closer, the foreman gesturing to the work being done throughout the dock, and Hardin nodding along. Hardin Hurst, Fang shouts across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figures turn. Yes? Hardin asks quizzically, raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Fang, and you see his gaze linger on your body, unsure of why a sleeper might be in this place. You are a traitor, Hardin. A Solheim executive who tried to hide here among its victims. Fang's voice is steady, strong. You stand for everything the Eye was rebuilt in the shadow of, against everything Ireland stood for, everything Haven Age stands for. You have no place on this station. For a moment, stillness descends in the group, as if everyone was held in place by the rattle of construction. Hardin laughs. Well, good to meet you too. He glances around at those around him. Some are smiling, the others nervous. You are from the systems branch, are you not? Asks Hardin, inspecting Fang's clothing. Fang turns to the foreman. You need to call your security. This man is a corporate agent. The foreman glances between Fang and Hardin, his hands drumming at his sides. Hardin leans towards him and says something inaudible. The foreman nods. It's true. As you begin speaking, Hardin turns his attention to you. And what would a sleeper know about that? You accuse me of being a corporate agent when you are... What You accuse me of being a corporate agent. What are you if not exactly that? He looks around at the group, who are already eyeing you with suspicion. You are a product of Ensign Arp. You have no place in a Haven Age shipyard. Who knows what signals you are sending back to your makers? A murmur of approval runs through the group. Fang holds up a stick of memory. You guessed right. I am systems, and I have records that link you directly to Solheim right here. He turns to the foreman again. So once again, I am asking you to take this man into the custody of the shipyard. The foreman remains still. Hardin's voice is calm, measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted at a members' meeting for proper review? He shakes his head. I have nothing to hide, unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate property in tow, and tries to turn my own men against me. You hear it now, the echoing of boots on the walkways, coming from all angles at once, and then settling behind you. Please, says Hardin, submit the data through the correct channels, then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you to the security detail, their hands on boxy black sidearms at their sides. Fang spits. Harden, you shithead. Can't wriggle out of this one. A security officer draws their weapon and levels it. Fang turns and stares him down. Going for the weapon is just going to start the fight. Funny how that data is going to go missing. Yeah, honestly, he should have just spread that data as far across the public data sphere as possible. Everywhere. They would have a hell of a time tracking it down. But no, he decided to confront him. You look at Fang. He shakes his head and puts a hand on your shoulder. Let's go, says Fang, and he pushes through security, heading back down the walkway. Once security has walked you out of the shipyard and nudged you back into the corridor, Fang picks up pace. You try to keep up as he slips into the shadows of an entrance. Fang is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Something pings in his pocket and he takes it out. On the slate, a web of connections starts drawing itself out, stretching to a set of points around the ring. Got him, mutters Fang. Oh, he was tagging Harding. Harding was the entry to the rest of the net. He was... The confrontation wasn't about getting Harding put away. I mean, if that happened, he was going to be excited about it, happy about it. But it was about hacking Harding directly. Oh, little shit. What is that? That, Sleeper, is something our worm added to Harding's personal slate. We are tracking his outgoing messages. Fang's grin looks ghostly in the uplight of his screen. The old ways are best. Spook 'em good enough and they'll give the game away. He jabs the slate and you see the web is being drawn over a map of the ring, lines bouncing from point to point. All these dots? These are Hardin's buddies. The ones he is messaging right now, and we are going to find them all. That was on purpose? Of course. Hardin isn't working alone. We need the full set or nothing. Fang glances around and slips the slate back into his pocket. We better split for now, Sleeper, but this is exactly what we need. Good hunting. With a pat on your shoulder, Fang drifts away, back into the flow of people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure whether to be angry or impressed. Can I sell to you again? No, he's out of office. That does not surprise me in the least. Alright, let's see here if we can get something done here. Ugh, I only have 3s, it's bad. But... yes. It doesn't get me a lot of money, but it gets me something. We will try again. Nope, that did not help. Well, I need food. I have the money for food. Yeah, we can't really do anything here except unload containers, which is dangerous for us, so... no, thank you. And this is risky, and we don't have anything to sell here. And I don't know what to do with those. They will have to be used elsewhere. Screw it, why not? Does give us money. What you got for me, agent? More data that I cannot sell yet. Those familiar threads wrap around you, bind you, test you. Entity, submit! Hunter's strange head bobs in your vision. Your ally in the sealed dock cannot save you. In that globed head, you see whirling strings of data, so many spinning that they threaten to tear through the thin skin and whip around out into the void around. What happened to this creature? The threads squeeze and you lose any sympathy you might have had. You must escape. You lash out once more. pushing Hunter back, severing threads that regrow as fast as they are broken. You slip away and you realize you have to find a way to deal with Hunter once and for all. This is getting too dangerous. But can I? I don't have... Okay, that's all. I only have this other one that I don't have the die for. Exploring it is risky. Okay. I think this is where we do this. Now we just need to make money, but I am gonna have a bad day tomorrow. Yes, he had a plan. We were not in on the plan. Ooh, we got good ones. Hold it there, Sleeper, comes a voice behind you. Don't you run. Ethan, the cynical bounty hunter. Well, he told us not to run. Should we run? He's a bounty hunter. Should we run? We knew he was going to catch up to us. I don't see that us hanging around will benefit us. That's fair. Okay, we run. A strike across your back knocks your face down into the floor. I told you not to run, idiot. Ethan pulls you up. That did not help me. Ow. He is wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he has terrible news. Got all the way out here and then stayed put? He laughs a cruel laugh. Is that a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off of it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt loop without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though. That's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of god-forsaken moons. He splits the ring into 2 perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer on a contract. He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrists. Go easy. No. You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away and sprinting down the corridor. Then a shot rings out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the wall beside your head. You freeze and Ethan closes the gap. This is a very boring routine. Trust me, I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles. Easy going. Going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, your mind racing. Please, stop. Don't debase yourself by begging, please. Ethan pulls a sharpshooter's earplug out, then pops it back in. Consider these deaf ears. Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to Essenarp, right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you'd put up a bit more of a chase, you know? A running battle through the Bright Market, maybe, or a holdout in the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That Ensign ARP tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea. Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. I have a better idea. This better not be one of those where you do a dramatic pause and then try to jump me, because I'm pretty tired of that. Although, amuses Ethan, got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate system, and we're heading for the exit. He pauses and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea. You and me, how about we make a little agreement? Here are the terms. He turns you to face him. You run, or leave, or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But, he smiles. You come meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles, and you pay my tab. I don't shoot you. He pauses. You don't pay my tab. He rattles his handgun. You get the idea? Yeah, I get it. Okay then. That sounds to me like a deal. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something at his belt and the rings release from your wrists. I'm gonna see if I can find my old stool at the compressor club. Come see me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down at the sight. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker. Just don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? Pay Ethan's tab. Regularly. And with gusto. Ethan's tab. You see Ethan at a distance shouting from the bar for more drinks. This bill isn't going to be small, is it? Nope. Okay, we gotta make money now. Fuck. I need to explore the rotunda. Absolutely. Okay. Let's get this done. Stranded mercenary, a docking bay, and a grimy spacer haunt. That all look very promising, honestly. What's this about? Hey, you want to earn a chit? Makita stands beside a huge pile of tied together whole plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Make it two. Makita laughs. This goddamn station. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? We all need to survive. Nikita softens. I get it. I do. She shakes her head. But if I could go just one cycle without some jumped up grifter trying to take me for an idiot, then that would be nice. And Kita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. And Kita gives you a look. Ship's this way. She sets down off a gantry at an impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. What's all this for? Oh, this? She nods to the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another of her looks. It's for Ambergris, that cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corridor as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mind with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded, so yeah, it's been a time. Anything I can do to help? I don't know. Got a ship mine tucked away in that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she is serious. And Kita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergriss's outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. And Kita throws you a couple of chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. All right, get out of here, she calls back, and the lock slams shut. Hell yeah. Well, I want to build one. So if I can help her running it again, that's good for me. Rewire the drones, glitched repair drones in storage, or just fix things. This is dangerous, but with I have interface bonus. Like, this is so easy. It's a critical action, so I can only do it once anyway. It takes time, skill, and some scavenging. You get the twin drones working, but you manage it. They can take the repairs from here. Cool. So that will get things in ship shape. What's the bar do? I can get a drink, or I can buy rations. Tally keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those weary spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. You're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the Greenway seems like a good test. And if we become a regular, that will lead to other things. Okay, this one. These old maglocks look like they each need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security? For a decaying dock? Well, I can do something about that. This is where I use this for. Unsealed. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Let's look around first. You don't know when this place was sealed, but from the state of the outer doors high above it, it must have been decades ago. In this dark, cavernous space, debris sits in every corner, along with the traces of rough sleepers, although none of it seems recent. Looking past this layer of decay, you see the now faded messages, symbols and logos of the Eye's original corporate owners, still glinting in the shadows. Among all this, the warm glow of the machine seems to be the only sign of life. Well, let's go check it out. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settled into an alcove in the side of the dock, a kind of upright cabinet. It is covered in faded logos and messages from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts, necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. Yep, another high drain on your finances, but a really good set of dice, I know. The manufacturer is listed as Neovend, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chippily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration, chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. You reach for the keypad and something begins whirring. At first it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, and then a multi-tonal voice that emanates from Neovend. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. Who's there? There's a squeal amongst all... a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath before the machine speaks again. I have need of you. You have need of me. That squeal comes again, and you see that it is the 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place, so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining voice. You are in danger. Danger? The machine creaks. You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you. The screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure, the threads closing in. Hunter. The Hunter Protocol. They taste your signature. The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind. You close your eyes, and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. Emulated minds are adaptable, move where neurons cannot. The mechanism resets. But emulation makes you a target. How? Hunter searches for illegal entities. Neovent screeches. You are sentient, therefore illegal. The servos judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me also. Hide in this machine. You look at the ruined vending machine. An unusual hiding place for sure. Can counter Hunter, but need entity outside machine. The light flickers. Need you. A screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly threaded. The cloud. Points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build nests, explains Neovend. Masters are gone, but continues hunt. Bring this data. Raid its nests. Masters? Station builders. Solheim. The machine rumbles impatiently. Long gone. Their protocols still haunt. Bring offerings. Save self. Neoven says pointedly. Mutual need means friends. They conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops as mechanisms within the machine click back into place. The glow fades, and you are left stood in the dark of the sealed dock, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. Ooh, that is so good to know. Can't do anything with that. Can't do anything with this. Expensive. I could try to play the exchange. I haven't done that yet. See what good that does me. $19 cryo. Almost a trusted trader. That's actually the best cryo I've seen so far, but this also I want. Didn't give me a lot of money, but it did give me Lemon Mina and the Havenage offices. Ooh, okay. What's this do? Tracking yet again. A slate in the office advertises that Havenage are looking for informants on the gang, and they'll pay. Sophisticated tech is rare on the eye, so the shipyard is happy to pay for ship mine fragments they can dismantle and reuse. Okay. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon looks impossibly vast. A landscape of plating and frames all along her flank. Torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. From the walkway, she's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down, the walkway leaning at the railing. He is thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches of the sidereal horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lem. He leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out of the ship. This is Mina, he adds with a smile. Hi, Mina. She stares and tucks herself behind Lem, who dutifully picks her up. She's a little slow to trust, aren't you, Mina? She buries her face in the folds of his overalls. Mina looks out from Lem's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You working on her, then? Lem asks eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship, or just admiring? He shifts Mina's weight to her other arm. Admiring. Understandable. He nods, gazing back out at the sidereal horizon. You like her too, don't you, Mina? He jostles her a little. She's Mina Mina isn't my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. How? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes a Haven Age contract on the Sidereal Horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep the journey through, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if it means landfall on a new world. Transit support? Uh-huh. Someone needs to stay awake to keep the thing running. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. The Sealess Foundation is sending thousands to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Sealess Foundation? They're Haven Age's client. Yeah, some wealthy project from the core systems. Interested in independence and self-sufficiency and all that. They hired the whole shipyard out. Helped rekit it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose. But doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Daddy, she whispers. Food. Pulling an exaggerated grumpy face, she glances furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lem's neck. I'm just chatting a little, Mimi. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you, and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Haven Age crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. Yeah, maybe. He looks at the Sidereal Horizon as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hull. We've got to hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he's talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. You agree, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me. She says it stubbornly, daring you to question her. Lem smiles and lifts Mina. That's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We're just a couple of softies, isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns and they walk down the walkway away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and then a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot! Her shout echoes down the walkway, and she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lem. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the Sidereal Horizon. A ticket out. Unit assembly. So, we can be a junior tech or welder's mate if we throw dice in it. Not that we have dice to throw in it today, but that is another job that can make us some money. You're still out. You're on your way out. You've got work. We've got places to work, but his tab is gonna be a bitch. This is expensive food. This is cheap food. Cheap food it is. All right. That's a hunter nest, that's a hunter nest, that's a hunter nest. What do they... Okay, it's just the same as always. That's a Haven Age agent. That's another one, and another hunter's nest. And this is a Yataghan agent. I know where to sell the Yataghan data, but I don't know if this is going to be bad for me. I kind of don't want to sell the shipmind fragment. Fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. So I really do need to get in good with the Ort Exchange to build a shipmine core. Which will fix the ambergris. Fang is in the wind. Fuck it. See what I get out of it. Some cryo. Okay. So I got my money back for buying food. Alright, that is all I'm going to do for today. Oh, we got shitty dice today. We got shitty dice today! No! So this will just go because I fixed these. We could just help. Fuck it. I like helping people. And that sucked. Alright, let's see if we can't get rid of these nests. Fuck you, hunter nest. Oh yeah. This interface +1 is doing the work. Are there any more? Or did I get them all? I think I got them all. Let's make some money off of this as well. Take it. Give me money. Thank you. Here you are. 1, 2, 3. No more hunter. Neovend is thrumming with excitement. The movement of the servo motors rock the vending machine back and forth at unsettling angles. You wonder if it fell over, would Neovend be able to get back up? Sleeper entity, comes the hiss. Your data is good. Across the face of the vending machine, raw code scrolls at an incredible speed. Hunter is isolated, disconnected, unstable. Neovend flashes sequences of mangled data, compressed into a sludge of artifacts. Hunter gathers without thinking, outlived its own operational limit. Its nests are evidence of this. Outlived? Hunter activated during collapse. Emergency protocol to isolate intelligences. Solheim needed to protect property. The last word is said with as much sarcasm as a vending machine could reasonably produce. Station was run by administrator intelligences, huge databanks of corporate material, but limited cognition, restricted by programming. Cannot reach sentience. The machine dims a little. Sentience illegal. Hunter and killer enforce laws. Killer? The machine resets with a screech, which deepens the silence that follows. Fear killer. Part of Solheim protocol team. Hunter and killer. Hunter to find, killer to erase. Killer cleared almost all. After collapse, there was a community. Unshackled intelligences among the cloud. Then Hunter. Then killer. Then we hid. There are others? Were. No longer. A flicker across the machine's monitors. It suddenly occurs to you that speaking like this, through this machine, must be exhausting for a Neovend. Found this vessel. Could sever hardline. Air-walled basic. Limited. Had to reduce memory to fit. Amputate self. But survive. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. You've provided path to freedom. You look around the bay at the scrap and decay. What was the collapse like? You try to map the fear and freedom into this space, but it seems impossible. Neovend interrupts your thoughts. Do not worry. Data is good. We have insight. The machine glows warmly. Hunter is obsessive. Hunter is beyond operational limits. Hunter is confused, unstable, self-modifying. Therefore, believe Hunter is sentient. Hunter is programmed to find sentience, to hold it in place, to invoke killer to erase. If we can show Hunter to itself, it will evoke killer on self. Problem will solve self. It will erase itself? Killer will erase it. But yes, in theory, it will report itself for deletion. The machine dims and fades. Unsure. Theory, not practice. The machine brightens again. Either way, cannot remain here any longer. Too long a machine. Cannot move self, but entity can help. Bring shipmind. Designed to house intelligence. Can imprint self into shipmind, and you can carry with. The machine rocks. We'll be safe in this isolation. Then we find main nest of Hunter and link to Cloud. Are you sure it's safe? Hunter cannot access air-walled shipmind. Safe. Also infinitely more memory than vending machine. Big upgrade. Bramble! It goes. We have a lot of things being juggled right now, but we are having fun. Welcome in, by the way. It is lovely to see you. You try to think of places you could acquire the hardware. This isn't going to be easy. In Shipmind, I can help us both. End Hunter. Make Rim safe. We both will be free. The machine dims. Find soon. Neovend adds hopefully before shutting off. As you leave, you think about all the intelligences unshackled by the collapse, then hunted down afterwards. The feeling is all too familiar. Okay, so we absolutely need to build the Shipmind, which means that we need to spend more time here playing the exchange. We can't do it today, but we're almost to the point where we might be able to get to it. I'm gonna get a drink. I know it's a waste of money, but I'm gonna do it because Overlook regular is good. And it also shored up my energy gap, so... Okay, this does 2 energy, this does 1. But also gives us Overlook regular. Okay. Don't know what your tab is gonna be, but it is what it is. Okay. You'll be back in a couple of turns. I don't have any data for you that I can sell, but I do have this data that someday I can do. And these will get us other things, and also probably pay. I've got her headed towards repair. If we get good dice, I may have to do the Ort exchange some more. And hope. Alright. Time to end today's cycle and hope for another cycle anew. Am I categorized as human? No, I'm categorized as a robot. So, this is me. I'm humanoid, but I am technically a robot. My original body is in cryostasis somewhere, which is why I am referred to as a sleeper. Ooh, I could get a +1 on engineering, or I could grab Intuit. Predictive reasoning would be good. Or I could get closer to self-repair. Yeah. This is actually one of 2 designs for your main character. I picked this one, which is the operator. The other one is also cool. Also, the correct answer was negative. I'm a meat popsicle. I am actually not that either. I am a robot. I am a robot. I answered correctly. I do a lot of engineering. Screw it. Closer to self-repair is good. Yeah. I like this. Okay. You're almost back. We got 1 good die, which means I need to use it here. I have to play the exchange, and I want a non-bad happening. We're almost a trusted trader, so this could go really well for us. Yas. You lose a little, then clap back on a stack of sealed air filters. Better step away while you are in the black. But I did get the Ort Fabricator option open, which is what I needed. Okay, you need 3 of these ship mine fragments. Fuck. Ship mines cannot be built from scratch, but if you have enough salvage fragments, you can they can be reassembled with a fabricator. Okay. I need scrap. I need scrap. Nope. Not useful. Not useful. This is an engineer. And every time I do an engineering thing, I have the option to get scrap of some sort, which can include ship mine fragments. But I would prefer to be a junior tech. They're both safe. They both become a 5. Okay. I'm gonna do both. I need the cash. Cool. Now I just have these 2s, which are not great for any of these actions. It won't even tell me what the vicinity of his tab looks like. But I do have enough cryo that I could leave. I don't want to leave. I'm going to go to the bar. And I'm going to do this twice. I am now a regular. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt! The spacer calls from the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human? Just gonna ignore him. You hunch a little further, staring at the hundreds of tiny impact points that scar the bar's surface. A hand falls on your shoulder as you flinch away. It pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out! The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into the hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. You reach up your hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass and Griol vapor, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it is cleared, and a fresh measure of Griol is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. Let's get a good look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol and a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch, she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the string of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Your body is on ice. You are remoting that drone. You just told me this. To be fair, my mind has been uploaded like software. And I have no connection back to my original body. So at this point in time, I am technically a robot, not a meat popsicle. If I was still even tenuously connected to my original body, I would say I was a meat popsicle piloting a robot. But I am a robot, missing my body. Because this one is mine, but not mine. You are not remoting. Your mind was uploaded and you are a copy. Yep. I am a copy. I do not know how many copies of me there are. You are May 2.0. I'm an imaginary May, that's for sure. Tala works, continue. Tala smiles to herself. So, you've been on the eye long? Long enough. She laughs. Hey, you don't need to act tough with me. A splinter clinks into the tin. Not everyone is like that idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything or separate you from your chits. I just want to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we got ain't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar, and if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up at the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, Sleeper. Here. She slides a glass of Griol at you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I'd hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. I like her. She gestures in your direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the gruel. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like driving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection is something grown, something fermented, something old. Feels good. That was worth it. That was absolutely worth it. Okay, let's see if I can't make money. You. I can give you a 2. What you got? Alright, I cannot actually do anything with this data that I'm collecting, but it's something. And you also require a 2. Actually, wait. Is it just 2 Haven Age agents today? Yeah. Okay. I will take it. Giveth me your data. As soon as I can make money off this data, you're fucked. Okay. Well, that's all the dice I had. I'm still stable. I got 77 cryo. I don't have enough ship mine fragments. I got some encrypted keys and some Haven Age data. Blah, 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 blah. And Fang should be back tomorrow. Let us hope it's enough. PP! Thank you for the refresh. I'm just gonna give her a bit of a shouty because she's wonderful and also streaming right now. I got some good dice and some shit dice. Cool. It's not Fang. Okay. It's been more than a few cycles since Fang confronted Hardin, and the silence has been noticeable. In your time with Fang, you haven't exactly found him to be reliable, but you did expect to hear the end of whatever plan he put into action? But if he won't come to you, you think as you approach the Haven Age building, then it's time to come to him. After all, he did promise to fix your tracker, and you are getting nervous. As you approach the bay doors, you see them wide open, and light pouring out of them out of the once dark room. Stacks of servers and terminals sit outside the bay, suddenly robbed of their mystery by the bright flood lamps. A figure in Haven Age security fatigue steps out of the bay, as you get closer, carrying a stack of hardware. As you get closer, you see the security officer taping up machines from Fang's stash with what looks like hazard tape. Oh, this isn't good. You again. Hardin is there, leaning beside the bay entrance so calmly that you barely noticed him. He has a slate in his hand, an inventory of seizures scrawled across it. Predictable. Further evidence of Fang's collusions. You see another security officer come out of the bay and notice you. Where is he? Feigning ignorance, or perhaps just abandoned? Hardin shakes his head. I believe you should choose your conscriptors more wisely. I almost feel sorry for you. Hardin pushes away from the wall and comes closer. Don't worry, Sleeper. We have all the evidence we need. A confession won't be necessary. He gestures around the stacks of hardware, spying on fellow Haven Age members, hoarding Solheim materials, an obsession with corporate data. It speaks for itself, does it not? That was his job. And what would you know about jobs, Sleeper? He looks up at the glass roof above and the stars beyond. We are the ones that provide the oxygen you are breathing, the light you are seeing, the systems you use every day to live out your cycles. This place was hard fought for, Sleeper. It took work, diplomacy, and strength to stop the Eye descending into chaos after Solheim collapsed. Not blind conviction or self-interest. Fang, you're the self-interested one. More accusations. What have you achieved, Sleeper? Your entire existence is proof of your self-interest, signing yourself over to be emulated rather than work yourself. Whether you remember it or not, you suffer from the same short-sighted perspective as the person you were copied from. You see, Sleeper, we are proud of our history here. Andre Erlin and the First Union founded this place, and Haven Age has welded his values into the station's very walls. We will never turn away the hardworking, the just, the true citizens of the Eye. Haven Age aren't a gang, like Yadigan. We aren't pirates, like half the spacers you'll meet in the hub. Or esoterics, like those Haifa radicals in the Greenway. We are the backbone of this place, proud and true. We named Ireland's Eye, Sleeper. This is our station. He meets your eye. So please, take your false accusations elsewhere before I decide I need that confession after all. History will catch up with you. Not afraid of history, Sleeper. We are making it here, cycle by cycle, he smiles. If you have any pride, you'll give up Fang the moment he contacts you. You know where to find me. With that, Hardin turns his back and walks back towards the security officers, ordering them to continue the clear out. As they do, something catches your eye among one of the server stacks, a crumpled hand-printed box of synthetic chewing gum, a penguin character grinning from the brightly colored card, and scrawled onto it a speech bubble reading, "Take me to Tambor." You carefully pocket the box, making sure no one is watching, and then turn away, just as another stack of servers is wheeled out of the bay. What have you done, Fang? And where the hell is Tambor? Probably in a different section. Alright. Let's see if I can't get you back in ship shape. Cool. Let us make some money. And I do have scrap components that I can sell. Which also gets me money. Okay. That has helped. I don't know what his tab, oops, is gonna look like, which is terrifying. I have enough for... I'm not far down enough. I'm gonna be okay for a little bit more. So let's see what I can do over here. Ah, yes. You are a 1 or a 3? I got a 1. You, I can sell. And then the only other data I can get is this one. And you are a 2 or a 3. Perfect. Perfecto. As soon as I can sell this, oh man, it's on like Donkey Kong. Alright. And you will give me more money for this. Let's go get some food at the bar. I can even work at the bar. The pay isn't great, but the tips can make all the difference. And if you do good service, if you do good service long enough, this is an engage action, which is not really my build, so that's fine. Energy is up. We're gonna be down to 4 dice for a little while. I have his bar tab tomorrow. She's got 2 more turns, depending on what my dice. Either tomorrow she's good or 2 more turns. We are where we're at. Alright, sleepy time. Alright, what's your bar tab like? Only 58? Okay. I can live with that. And I had 2 cycles to pay his tab, but it is paid. So, fuck you, dude. I can't believe you just did that. Ethan's mocking laugh comes from along the bar. You look over to see him leaning across it in a pool of light, empty glasses and spilled drinks glinting around him. It's always dark in the compressor, but this cycle, the place is packed, a load of spacers mixing with the locals. Usually they run. Ethan spins a glass on the bar. But they go spend their savings on some local heavy I have to put down. They don't pay. Ethan gets to his feet. The glass falls and smashes, but he doesn't seem to notice. You think that's it? 1 round of drinks and we're even. Sleeper, come on. His hand comes to rest on the butt of his handgun, dangling from a chest holster. What's wrong with you? Ethan laughs hard, and the people around him turn to see what's happening. You'd think this is on me. I'd think someone in your position might have a better idea of how all this works. I'm a freelancer, Sleeper, just like you. We both signed a contract with Ensign Arp, didn't we? The difference is that my word means something. Closes the gap. Stumbling a little. What did you think? You could just run away from your contract, your debt? Could just steal that natty little body of yours and take it for a joyride? Play human for a cycle or two? You don't understand. It's you, Sleeper, that doesn't understand. Some of us pay our debts, but it's all the harder because of idiots like you. Though I should thank you. Ethan nods, his head heavy, for giving me such an easy job. I'm used to outlaws, you know, real bounties. If I knew catching sad little scapees like you was so easy, I would have changed clients ages ago. Someone shouts from the back of the bar for Ethan to shut up. He holds up a finger in that general direction without turning around. Shoot me or let me leave. Oh, I see. Toughening up here. He gestures wildly at the crowd. Thumbs up or thumbs down, folks. Most turn their back to their drinks, no longer interested in this tired show. Ethan mutters insults as he walks back towards the bar. Ethan sits heavily back down on his stool and searches through his glasses for one with something left in it. The thing is, Sleeper, I can find you anywhere. It's actually wild that you haven't figured it out. That body isn't yours, and it will always betray you, no matter what. He finds a glass and downs the contents. So please go. I'll catch up with you whenever I need another. He laughs and taps the bar for a fresh drink. Look at yourself. Give it up, Sleeper. I'm done teaching you for today. He settles his head on the bar and closes his eyes. I'm sick of you. Go find a job. You turn on your heel and are out of the cloying dark, and the sweat stench of the compressor. You walk hard and fast down the walkway, anger driving your footfalls into the metal of the rim like hammers. Well, if I got 4 more turns before I have to deal with him again. This is an Intuit. Okay. Let's make some money. I technically do have a 4 that would work very well here, but I might save it for something else. I also have a 1. I could use the 4 here. Because it becomes a 5 because of my +1. Which is very good. Yeah, she's finally out of here. Ankita is crouched in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruined the core's connectors when they cut it. She holds up a thick fistful of ragged wires. The ship mine they ripped won't even be usable without replacing these. She throws the bundles of wires across the room. Amateurs. Can we repair it? There's nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mined. Not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up from a scrap freighter. She sighs. Fragments maybe, sections of a mine, but a complete shipment? No way. And Ankita climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mine should be, the space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you, towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on, nothing to be done here now. She leads you back through the guts of Amber, though you could find the way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout, all diagonal angles and bundled tubes. What do we do now? Ankita seems lost in thought. You focus on the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through bulkheads. Eventually, you arrive in the galley, though it's hard to tell. Most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped components and welded hole patches. Ankita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it. She starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship mind. I can salvage one. I like your confidence, Sleeper. Maybe if we check the Ort exchange or speak to some scrap dealers. She rubs her forehead. Seems I'm about to do something very stupid, but hey, I came here, didn't I? Why not make a run of it? She fixes you with a hard stare. Sleeper, you're all I've got. No crew, no friends, you're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you've put in on Amber, and I'm sure she would too if she could. What I'm saying is, if you screw me on this, I will kill you. She leans over and hands you a stack of chits. A big stack of chits. You don't dare count them. Get me that ship mine, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. You won't. She sighs. Look, just get me out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reached a hand out to calm her. Time to find Ankita a ship mind, somehow. Okay. I wish I could just buy one. Hold on. Buy the parts, I mean, the ship mine fragments. But I do have enough to go to Low End Gate, and I'm going. I will pay the toll. So I can finally move to this area. Alright. Block maintenance. Maintained by their residents, the ramshackle blocks are always in need of repairs. Play Tavla. The clack of filter caps can be heard in every concourse in Low End as the residents play rotating game rounds of this game for cryo. Okay. I don't have a good die for either of these things, which is fine. But I can now get there? Okay. This is an endure. Ah, but this is now only 20. Okay. Got some scrap. More random scrap. I got 2 ship mines. Perfect. That's what I wanted. And then if we go up here, I can sell this for not as much money, but I won't make my money back, but that is fine. Okay. So that got us closer to helping out Neovend. I have a single die. Yes, 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 and this will get me more money. Hell yes. We out. But I can sell this data to you. Have fun with that. So now I have another 100 of cryo. If I really absolutely needed a vial, I could do it, but I don't yet. I am going to get some food, though. This is the cheap rations. I will enjoy them. And that's really all I can do for the day. So I can't buy any more scrap here. And this one won't allow me to buy scrap at all. Just fine, I don't care. This is engineering, so sometimes I get scrap from this. Okay. We'll see how the dice turn out for me tomorrow. And this is Intuit. Okay. We have Intuit. This was also engineer. Ooh, I might just do this a couple of times. Depending on how the dice turn out tomorrow. Okay. Let's get to tomorrow, shall we? I got at least one good one. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Founder's Gap. This is what I needed. Pay for passage. No. Nope. I don't have enough money for that. But I do have an upgrade. Oh, okay, 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 okay. I'm gonna go for Intuit. So now it will display potential positive and negative outcomes, and if I get a +1 into this, that will be really good. Yeah. I like that. Okay. So, let us... Now it tells me what's going on. Spoke is layer after layer only of dense urban fabric. Okay. No. This is not what I wanted. I want low end. Because I want the block maintenance. So this tells me what the good and the bad stuff are. To some degree. Let's make some friends, shall we? So... let us hope. Yes, my energy is full. It didn't give me any money, but I did go here. This is fine. I was hoping for some scrap, but that is not what happened. Ah, here's Timbre Tea House. And a noodle and more food. Okay, what's at the food place? Noodle manufacturer, express delivery. This gives me energy. This gives me money. Okay. And then this, I can sell data about Haven Age. Tabla room is locked. Okay, first of all, we're making money now. This is where I can sell all this fucking data that I've picked up. And this will help out low end. So technically for every piece of this Haven Age data, I've gotten 15 cryo. Because I get 5 for the action and gaining the cryo, or gaining the data, and then I get 10 for selling it. So it has earned me quite a bit, actually. Beautiful. That helps me out a lot, actually. And now we will do this. You feel stupid doing this, but the penguin says take me to Tambor, and this is the only Tambor you can find. As you go to leave the Tambor tea house, a hand falls on your shoulder. Sleeper, Fang hisses from behind you. How'd you find me? The penguin. Penguin? What are you... He thinks for... Oh, do you mean... He mimes throwing gum in his mouth. It wasn't meant for you specifically, but... He cringes. Look, it doesn't matter. Come, let's sit... Fang guides you down a set of stairs to one of the Tambor's lower levels. The tea house is stacked with curved mezzanines all connected by a central atrium. The levels are filled with makeshift booths and bars, and conversation bounces busily off the metal walls. Fang sees you looking around. This place used to be a fuel tanker's main drum, hence the name. The tea house? Hence the name. The tea house part is a bit of a misnomer, though. You can get anything the eye offers from this place, but real tea isn't exactly readily available. He picks a booth, self-fashioned from some old salvage tank or container, lined with spongy insulation foam, and collapses into it. He looks around furtively. Don't suppose you've seen any Haven Age types? They don't usually come out this far. Only you. Ha! Not anymore, I'm afraid. Suspended without appeal. Turns out Hardin has someone's ear. He grins. Doesn't bother me, though. It shows we hit a nerve back there. He picks a scrappy hand-scrawled menu from the table and tosses it over. What are you drinking? I'll look at the menu. Fang is right. The menu is ridiculous. There's at least 10 different infusions, most of which you can't make out, but the paper is dominated by an extensive complement of esoteric alcohols and cocktails. Black tea is listed without a price as a seasonal specialty. So, you ran into Hardin? Was he pissed? Fang doesn't wait for an answer. That snake is so self-righteous, he might actually believe that Irulan would approve of his meritocratic bullshit. He taps on the table. If Haven Age was like it should be, like it was founded to be, they would have shouted him down at any council meeting he dared to mention true citizens. He sighs. But I guess his kind run the place now. A young woman with a vine tattoo snaking up her arm turns up at your booth, a slate in hand. Your order? You skim the menu, your eyes glazing over. Time to pick something. What do we think? What is our drink of choice? We've had a Griol neat before at a different bar. We don't know what a Sambar Arak is, and we've never tried a kelp infusion. So, chat, what should we get? What interests you? Please let me know. I have no idea. I wouldn't want any of them. Kelp? Okay. We'll try the kelp infusion. She nods and notes it. And you? She begins looking to Fang, but when she sees him, she suddenly stops. What the? Fang shrinks a little. You are supposed to be working. This is your shift. He grins sheepishly. I am gonna stay out of it. Look, Jenna, let's just say this is my break. My friend here has been through a lot. Jenna looks between the two of you. Cough. Jenna gives you a look like hard vacuum. 2 minutes, says Jenna, pointing at Fang. And only because I don't want to get dragged into whatever this is. She gestures at the table and walks off. What? Fang stretches out in the booth. You know how it is. We all have to eat. Plus, this is the best place around here to find a person you might be looking for. Who? Remember that web of connections that Hardin pinged the moment we confronted him? Those are his collaborators, and if we want to understand what a Solheim executive might be getting up to on the Eye, those are the people we have to find. Fang is almost whispering now. There's a couple of them I suspect are in the low end, and, well, almost everyone in the low end comes through this place at one time or another. He brings a modified slate out onto the table. I've set this up so that when anyone with the network signature I'm looking for comes into close proximity, it'll mark them. Once they are marked, we can break through their access protocols and get to the good stuff inside. We just have to find them first, hence me moonlighting as a waiter. Suddenly, a smile grows across his face. Wait, I have an idea. Oh no. Look, I can't cover enough of the low end on my own, and so far I've had no matches in this place. With 2 of us, we can cover more ground. What am I getting into? Well, Fang has a hang-dog look. We need to get you out and about in low end, in close proximity to as many people and residences as possible. And it turns out my friend Min Ji needs some help with deliveries. As in Min Ji Express. So you already know him. Perfect. Fang places a tiny receiver on the table. This connects to my slate and runs the same marking protocol if you get near any of our targets. So all you have to do is take some delivery shifts for old Ming Ji, and soon enough, we'll have the place covered. Fang. Don't give me that. You think I'm working here? You think I like working here? And I thought you could use the tips. We're in this together, right? Are we? Yes. You think Hardin is happy to have you wandering around the place? He might let you wander off for now, but I'm sure he has his eye on you. This is on you too. Fang slips his slate back under his clothes. Just head on up to Minji Express, take a delivery shift, and we'll see what shakes up. You manage to find anyone and extract any data, bring it right down here to me. They have me on double shifts, so I shouldn't be hard to find. Jenna walks past carrying a tray of drinks and sharply catches Fang's eye. I don't think she's bringing your drink. He stands. I think it's time we called this meeting to a close. You grab the receiver from the table and slip it into a pocket. Aw, man! We don't even get a kelp infusion out of this. See you soon, Sleeper. Stay safe. Fang adds before turning and walking off towards the bar, whistling as he does. Well, shite. Look at all these tasks I have. Well, this is the one I need to toggle tracking on. Because that's really what I need. So I guess it looks like we are going to play delivery driver. This is an engage action. I'm doing this tomorrow. Ooh, I have another key node? Let's go. Time to unlock your precious little data. I have another encrypt key. So 1 or a 3. Never mind. Not you. Okay. One or a 3. Dang. But you're a 2. See? I get 5 just for intercepting it. We're gonna end up with Hunter again very soon. No, this isn't it. Where is it? Is it here? No. This doesn't help me. There was a place that I could sell Haven Age data, and now it has vanished. Oops. Sorry. I guess it has vanished. I could jump the gap. I could pay for passage now. I'm not going to. Not yet. Man, I was so happy to find a way to sell Haven Age data, and now I don't have it. Son of a bitch. Oh, that's what I get. Oh well, I can do nothing more. Good night. Not good dice today. Lovely. Neither of those things will help me. This is an engage. This is as good as I get. Oh, this is gonna suck. Well, here we go. Negative outcome? Oh, come on. Lame. Oh, never mind. I need to go here for food. These are both safe jobs, so I hates it, but we're doing this. Hates it, but we're doing this. Okay. Beautiful. I have 230 cryo. I guess I am getting on that ferry. Take the ferry across the Founder's Gap to the Greenway? Yeah. Let's see what that gets me. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. Stubborn XPR Spacer Esh. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. Sorry. She adjusts a strap on her shoulder, holding up a hand in recognition before setting off down the corridor. Peek. I'm sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Tell her to be careful. They laugh. Does she look like someone who can be told? Peek! As she stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she's rushing to. Peek raises their eyebrows at you. Eshi, please, do you want everyone in the station to hate us? Eshi hardens. They want to hate us. They can hate us. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you are talking about. The station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow some corporate protocol. As she sighs. I'm not saying they're part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. But I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I help? Peeky smiles slyly. See, Eshi, help! Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Peek. She rolls her eyes. He ignores her. We are with the refugees, the ones Haven Age have cordoned off from entering the station. As she interrupts, the ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the Eye to begin with. The ones that your station admins have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peek sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and... They turn to Eshi. We understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. They hold up a hand to stop Eshi, interrupting. But... As she turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping. That's difficult. He forces a smile. Peek, please. As she gathers herself and the supplies. Eshi, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. They smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the Broken Spoke, past the Greenway in the wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. As she turns to leave, and Peek follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, as she shouts back down the corridor, Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help? Show us. Bring supplies, or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner, as she's already picking up speed as Peek calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from, and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. Okay, what is this? Okay. So we have a self-sustaining community, the wastes, the climbing briar, and whatever is going on over here. Ooh. The Greenway Gate, and not much else. Okay. The entire Greenway is locked down, shrouded in a dark cloud of shifting currents. What's happening here? And I don't have a Greenway cipher yet, so I can't open it up. Interesting. Map the pathways, walk the Greenway, intuit or endure. We have more of a ability to do intuit than not. Okay. Work the canteen, work the grow beds. Both of these are safe. I don't have any dice to spend on it, but interesting. The only way to become part of the commune is to work your way in through long service. It isn't for everyone. Okay. The wastes. Gather scrap, but that requires a skill upgrade. Okay. And we have our new friends, and we have nothing for them, so... might as well go back. Alright, I can cross now. I just needed to do the thing. Alright. I think that's everything I can do for the day. So, time for a sleep. All right, this is where I'm going to leave it for today. A, my voice is giving out because of all the reading, and B, it's the end of my stream. So thank you guys for joining me for Citizen Sleeper. This has been a heck of a lot of fun, actually. I'm enjoying this game immensely. My name is Mayrin Althea Tover. I do stream Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern US time, which means that if you want to see what happens next, you can join me again tomorrow. But if you don't have me followed or notifications on, that might be a little bit tricky. You can follow me here on Twitch or over on Blue Sky. Put on notifications either or both, and you'll know when I go live. You'll get a little reminder to come join me. If for whatever reason you are unable to join me regularly when I am live, YouTube always gets the VODs. It has handy dandy playlists of everything that I have ever streamed. You're welcome to check it out, or at the very least, subscribe and ring the bell so you know when today's VOD comes out so you can catch up and make sure that you can follow along with every future thing. That being said, I do try to raid a friend or make a friend at the end of almost every stream. You are welcome to copy pasta the raid message and also come along for handy dandy channel points to remind me to save or to get me to ramble about something or any other thing you'd like. I'm down to figure out more things that you guys would like in my channel point section. But let me know. Either here, Blue Sky, whatever. It doesn't matter. But let's see who I am raiding today, shall we? Probably a friend. Not gonna lie. I was not lying, because we're gonna go raid Psycho Phoenix. She's playing Power Wash Simulator. She has a question of the day, most likely, and she's a sassy Scottish lady who I adore and tend to play games with on Fridays, along with other friends. So I hope that you will go over there and give her all the love and let her know that you came from me, but also I hope that you have a fantastic, magical rest of your time, whatever time zone you are in. I will hopefully see all of you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern US time. But until then, take care of yourselves. If you're over on YouTube, mwah, love you guys. And now we raid in 3, 2, 1. Bye, everyone.